everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Oilers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Oilers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, they come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led onto the field by their 6'6 quarterback, the former Arizona Wildcat, Nick Foles.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8. A good pickup there, 8 yards and a first down completion. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Here's Foles, and he will not be able to get away as Foles is taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Well, Foles and the Jags now have to deal with a 3rd and long after that sack. Foles. It's caught. Jones. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And now out comes Houston. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Jackson. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. They almost gave it right back to him there with another interception of their own. And to be honest, Jackson hit and he lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And he brings wins this one back. A fumble return for a Jacksonville score. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on third down.
Mike 27. Hey, man. Watch the boot.
After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And I think the ball's out, and the Jags grab it.
Yeah, baby. That's our ball.
So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
And now out come the Jags. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. A first carry for Leonard Fournette. Tackled by Jordan Willis. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Anthony Barr almost defies description at times. He's built like a defensive end, but he plays outside linebacker and does it quite well.
Tempo.
Now Foles. And Jones has it over the middle. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Well, the open man is Westbrook. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Call it a gain of 14 for the second play in a row.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible.
And this is caught by Lee. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Marquise Lee, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars have taken the lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was the super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their third possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Now a man open down the middle of the field and up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 15 yards on the play, first down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Up from the secondary to make the tackle, Jalen Ramsey.
I'm not sure that you'd call it a trick play, but it definitely showed some imagination there. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to come back and show this play a few more times before this one is over.
Now left side on the swing pass, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Pulled in at the 24. Now a hit and a loose football.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Jonnu Smith, the tight end, is intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over in my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the 2nd down pass play only went for 2. He'll drop to throw. And he will not be able to get away as Foles is taken down. Derek Wolfe able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz. And even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, that allows your blitzers to get there.
And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And they begin this drive in very precarious field position inside their own 5.
And remember, this is a defense that's already scored once in this game, so you've got to really take care and make sure that you're blocking these guys to try and wedge the ball out from the shadow of your own end zone.
Now Jackson back into his end zone and nearly picked off there, almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the cornerback's hand, and it's incomplete. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
They knew they were going to have great field position, went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They're cut down. When they're that backed up, you've got to be careful going after him.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on fourth down leads to 1st and 10. Jackson will throw again. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. 4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
On side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
That's a 43-yard punt, aided as well by a loss on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. A throw left side, complete to his receiver, Westbrook. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Fournette, a 1st down carry. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Fournette on the counter, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result, because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him. Sat there waiting for him and made the play.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's out to his running back, Fournette. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Logan Cook now as he'll punt it away for the second time.
Let's go, baby.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series, before you get out there, hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. The run on 3rd and long, so I guess waving the white flag a little bit.
Yeah, and I think sometimes teams are so committed to running the football that they'll take a chance, even in a long yardage situation, to let them know on the other side, this is what we're going to be about today. In this case, they didn't get a first.
Through an opening, and there he goes. Touchdown, Jaguars. D.D. Westbrook, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars are able to strike quickly for 6.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Now Zerline on to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Well, it's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Here we go.
And now out comes Houston. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer.
He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. 33 yards that time.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss. But with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete.
Defense.
Well, let's see who this is on. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. And they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This will be their first trip to the red zone. 1st and 10 right at the 20. They'll run on 1st down. It's King. And his first carry, he loses the football. And the Jags grab it. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
We got it.
Well, he's going to have to shake out the cobwebs first time he touches the football, and he drops it on the ground.
So many times we talk about quarterbacks and taking care of them early to get them in the flow with safe throws, right? But with a runner, there's no such thing as this.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Set, ready, and read. Check tight, check tight, check tight.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 12 yards there and a first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come right back at them with the same play, the same set, and see if they can stop them. That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big...
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. Now Leonard Fournette. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The sack by Jordan Willis.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. Well, the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Watch the twist, watch the twist. Hey, go.
A shotgun give to Fournette. Finding room at the 30 and all the way up to the 35-yard line. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he'll get that to Fournette, complete. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Our eyes shift to the defense of the Jaguars now. And they have been popping the ball free here seemingly at every turn. I mean, let's watch all these fumbles they've created.
That's really good coaching, and it's excellent execution because everyone talks now about tackling, and that second guy in, what do they want to do, partner?
Scrape it loose.
Scrape it loose, pop it free, and everyone's doing a really good job of that, and we're seeing it in evidence here today.
First and 10, it's Jackson. Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
That's what I'm talking about. Sacks.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
This offense so far on third down, they're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Brett Kern now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Jags will have great field position to start this drive as they take over on the short side of the field. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Back to throw. And he will not be able to get away as Foles is taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Back to throw here. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. D.D. Westbrook, his intended receiver. 3rd down here. The Jaguars on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and forever. Looking to throw. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. So here's Greg Zuerlein now as he'll try for the field goal. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. Zuerlein's kick is up and through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So we will not go into the lockers tied. We do have a leader in the clubhouse, so to speak.
Yeah, it's only 3 points. Doesn't seem like much, but it looms big the way that they got it done right before the half ended.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. He finds Ross. Right side, it's complete. And he'll get this way down into Jacksonville territory. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Jaguars out on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll begin up at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And it's the Rams who are out in front as those teams approach halftime. The Rams still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From there, let's get to the Meadowlands to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium. And they lead the visiting Raiders at halftime. 2 touchdowns there for Saquon Barkley. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. And they trail in their ball game at halftime to the visiting Carolina Panthers. Kendrick Bourne, a touchdown catch in that first half. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Zerline out now to kick this one away. Gets fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them.
Offense.
Now that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And that's caught left side. Seals Jones with it. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Now Foles off the play fake to Fournette. He's going to go for it. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Calling a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Jackson will keep it, and they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for fourth down.
Jackson now. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. He was trying to go back to Moore there. And it's second down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's third down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Fourth down, here's Jackson. And that is going to be incomplete. The fourth down pass play doesn't work out. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. So they'll trudge off the field with a bitter taste in their mouths after that failed fourth down conversion.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of analysis there on the sidelines. Was it the right call? Was it against the right defense? Should they have even gone for it at all? Will that change what they do going forward in this game? A lot of questions to be answered by them. The defense doesn't really care. They're like, bring it on again. We'll stop you the next time, too.
Foles. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Running left, it's Fournette. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Now Foles. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end. On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down. Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Trying to get the run game going. This is Fournette. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
They keep it with Fournette on 1st down. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Now Fournette. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's Foles. The open man is Shark. It's complete. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. Foles now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Well, this O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because if we were grading them on their performance in this game, a lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking.
They will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Leonard Fournette, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars add on to their lead.
In as many coaches' meetings as we sit in, we hear the word finish all the time, don't we? And on that play, the back actually finished getting into the end zone, breaking the last tackle. Tried to wrap up, tried to use the proper technique, just wasn't able to get it done.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A.J. Boye up to make the tackle. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the fourth quarter. Just rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They'll stay on the ground. Balaj again. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Here's Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right? And
this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
On 2nd down, it's King. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. Hate to say it, but that play typifies what we've seen from this offense all game long.
Yeah, don't you think maybe you flip over your play sheet as the offensive coordinator and see the side that says try something different? You know, because this has not worked all game long. They continue to try and get it done. They've got to come up with something a little bit different. Try something special, something they haven't seen.
Anything to score a point. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. It's 4th down. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Houston. This will be fielded at the 17. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Gearing up for their next possession, Nick Foles and the Jags. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much. Not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out. Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Try to lay one up deep. And that's caught inside the 35. What a play that turns out to be. 36 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll look to throw here. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back dropped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield. And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Single.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation.
And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Josh Allen able to record his 5th sack of the season.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
It's a 7-yard pickup. They'll be looking now to 3rd and 6. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Jackson.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Throwing is Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. He was looking for John Ross that time. And now it's 3rd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg. and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, four in a game.
Yeah, about four in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them in just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for Jacksonville, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1. And they'll have another road date next week with the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.